Only 209 days are left before we enter 2026. Can you imagine how many sporting courts have already started closing the activities for the year 2025? Now it's the time to know that different sporting courts are hitting the right gear towards the end of the year 2025. Hello and welcome once again for your edition of Temidlalo on a Thursday, where a couple of things to take center stage will include the 2025 Imvelo Classic this coming Saturday. So knowing that it's one of the biggest events on the cycling calendar, we'll have the Secretary General of the Eswatini Cycling Association just to look at the ins and out and also build up to the bigger occasion, one of the touristic event in terms of sporting activities, that is the border-to-border cycling tour. So Mr. Mkolisi will be in the studio just to look at the preparations and how is the 2025 edition going so far in terms of registration and those who are making effort to make sure that the event comes to pass. Otherwise, moving on, over the weekend, last week Saturday, there was the Eswatini Athletic Association National Champs to look at the ins and out, what unfolded. From what I'm hearing from our in-house analyst, Temidlalo, talent was at its best at Mafsa Sports Center. We switch side and also talk about the Shuguma program that was in Manzini in one of the constituency. We'll talk about that. But before we leave, the full focus, the bigger stage is the 2025 Instacash School Soccer Tournament, where today it was day 3 of the last 16 finals. So the whole attention was in Shiserweni, under the Shiserweni region. Tuesday was Hoho. Yesterday was Manzini. Today it was, of course, Shiselweni. This was yesterday at the Mafsa Sports Center when the defending champions, Manzini Central High School, managed to qualify for their second national semi-finals in a row, courtesy of such beautiful goals. And you'll be having them live here on your #1 channel, Eswatini TV. Otherwise, I'll be joined later by in-house analyst Temidlalo just to unfold how the road looks like for the school games. And tomorrow, the story continues under the Lubombo region and talk about Simunye Stadium. That's where the attention is. Now, without wasting time, I'm joined by the SG, the Secretary General of the Eswatini Cycling Association, Mr. Mkolisi, just to look at the bigger page, the bigger edition of 2025. Maybe let's start with the border-to-border, then we'll wrap up with Imvelo Classic. Mr. Shonge, Singvusena Mhlanza Mama. Wow, it's another day, it's another visit from you here in the office. Preparations to start with in terms of border-to-border.
Okay. Siyabonga kakhulu Feb, sibingelele babukele emakhaya.
Yeah.
Emalungiselelo sekahambe kahle kakhulu. Sesiyathi nje ukuthi we are only left with few days.
Yeah.
This is the last weekend before we go and we ride from Ngwenya down to Lavumisa. The preparations are sezingeni lesetulu and nebantu baneshisekelo kakhulu. They are so much looking forward towards the tour, because this is about our sports tourism. We explore the country in 2 wheels, enjoy the scenery, the mountains, the landscapes of the country, when we ride from one border to the other border, from the northern part to the southern part. So it's a cycling tour that everybody is looking forward to. Yeah.
I know that's the full attention. I wish that maybe we start with Imvelo, but quickly we'll get to Imvelo shortly. But still on border to border, I think the sponsorship this year has increased. We'll touch on that as well. But when I'm looking at also the excitement that comes with this competition, this tour, it's not a competition, it's a tour, because you move from one border to the border. That's where the excitement is. How is it looking in terms of international cyclists? Do they want to come in their numbers for the occasion?
Okay. Thank you so much, Feb. We are so excited this year, Feb. We've got a number of cyclists coming. Ngingabala nje Emave. We've got cyclists coming from Mozambique. We've got cyclists coming from Lesotho. We've got cyclists coming from KZN, especially Durban and Pietermaritzburg. And then we've got from Mpumalanga, we've got the Always There, and we also have Gauteng. They are coming. So it's looking very, very good. This time we've got a lot of cyclists coming from outside the country, and they are so much excited about being part of the tour this year.
Right.
Yeah,
I know it's a couple of days away from taking place. That's the border-to-border tour.
Yes.
But I think if you're a cyclist, it's a Thursday night. Your idea, switching gears now, you're thinking your idea is Saturday is around the corner. Imvelo cycling, classic race. How do you prepare them in terms of competition when you are an association, the advice that you're giving them, tips and everything, it's just a couple of hours away.
As a cyclist, you are consistently training. It's just that it's the different disciplines. What was it this week? We are going for MTB. Sekufuna ukuthi wathi ukuthi yini lo le bicycle MTB soludayele sotikhumbutile ngalo. And again, when you are going for road, you just remind yourself that no, this time you're going to road, but your intensity in terms of training and what as the association we give advice is that cyclists just have to prepare themselves and make sure that they hydrate. They put on their safety gear and they are all, if they're on the roads, they must be visible, but have put so much time on the training, follow their training programs, because the Lama races are run throughout the year. So so you have to be constantly training so that you don't lose your fitness.
Now, in terms of, I know the title sponsor and then the organizers have also the plan on the day, but in terms of the involvement of the association, what is the main key that are going to be playing in this? Do you play in this Invelo Classic race? Just your involvement and how you ensure that everything goes accordingly.
We've been working with Invelo for quite a long time, and it's been, because now you remember they've been running for 20 years now, celebrating 20 years. So what we bring, it's that because we've got clubs which are under our umbrella, so they are able to get access to register and be part of Invelo. So we are able to also support them in terms of marketing the race, in terms of maximizing the attendance. It's either locally or outside the country. So every support that the Invelo needs, they always get from the association. And also the association takes part, because some other times you find some other cyclists are not part of any team or any club, if I may say. So we also advise them that they should prepare the day licenses which are being paid so that you can be able to participate after your registration. So there are a number of avenues that the association is involved in.
Yes. And talking about cyclists, of course, preparations are under wherever you are. If you're a cyclist, just know that it's the 2025 Invelo Classic. Maybe we should also add the name, the Nedbank Invelo Classic, because that's their title sponsor. Like they keep on highlighting that. Now, when you look at your calendar, it's maybe one of the biggest events that you have to look up to in terms of cycling events in the land. How would you maybe rate the growth of the competition or of the race for the past 20 years? If you look at where it's from, not only because you're also the SG of the association, but you are also a cyclist, how have you seen the race growing since the last 20 years?
The race has been growing, but we've had a hiccup across all sporting codes in terms of the COVID. The COVID did give us a snag, so the numbers haven't been very, very much appetizing in terms of, speaking on behalf of Nedbank Invelo, MTB. So the numbers haven't been that good, but they've been drastically growing. So for now, it's just also to highlight that the manual registration is still open tomorrow and still open on Saturday morning before the races start. So if somebody agabhalisi angaqhubeka bhalise phindza bhadale physically khona le emaketeni asemlilwane nakusasa. Yes.
Now, you're the motherboard of cycling in the land, and then I think the bigger question that always, the cyclists are asking themselves, could see, you've got two types of, there's road races and there's the mountains in terms of classic races. Then the numbers compared to road races are few at the other side. Talk about Ngwenya, talk about this one, Invelo. What can you do to increase them, and what's the problem? Why can you have more of these, classic races such as Invelo, such as Ngwenya, and is it Sisegelo as well? Those type of races compared to road races where there are a lot. Your M10 Kemani, your Sitegi race, there are a lot. But the other side, hey, Bakala man.
Yeah, so it also goes back to the sponsorship. If you have the sponsorship and the bantu babe interested, because siyati ukuthi nenzaba yemnotfo iya-affectana, because konke lokhu kudzinga imali. You have to service the bike, kufuna uregister, kufuna utravel uyelele race. So there are a number of dynamics which come through in terms of that. So hence we are appealing for companies and individuals who would be interested in sponsoring. So we've got some openings in our schedule in our yearly plans for sports. for it's either road or MTB that can be taken by anybody who's interested in sponsoring and bringing in, organizing a race. Yeah.
All right. Lastly, maybe touching on this, Imvelo, before quickly we jump to Porta, would you say you've got surprises for cyclists on the day on Saturday? That's besides what the sponsor is doing and the organizers, which is the venue where it's held. But you as an association, is there any surprises for the cyclists on Saturday?
There are always surprises. There are always surprises because MTB is very interesting. Yeah, so having Imvelo done at Temidlalo, where you know that only the animals, the game's got the right of way. It's an interesting scenario. It's always interesting. So there are a number of cyclists which are coming from outside the country. So you may never know. Then you may think I did win last year, and you don't know who's coming this year. So those are the surprises. You have to go there with your head held up high and be ready to win. Yeah.
And then, of course, then encouraging also the cyclists to just knowing that they're using the nature of Mlelwane, just to keep on just focusing on the road. Because sometimes when you say on the road, so just it's a message to the cyclists out there.
As I said, Fab, it's the issue of the animals. When you find the animals, they have the right of the way. You have to allow them to pass, and you have to continue. If ever some other people ride socially, Fab, so there's nothing wrong in stopping and taking a photo and upload it and share it, so that we can market our country in terms of tourism. Using those uploads. But those who are competitive, they just have to be safe on the trails and be mindful of other cyclists and be mindful of the game itself.
Right. Looking at maybe that's the highest distance, 65 kilometers. Are you on the bike?
Yes, I'm always on the bike.
You're always on the bike?
Yeah.
And then also the weather condition these days, knowing that it's winter. I'm just looking at the program. I'm looking at some of the activities on the day. I'm looking at also the distances. Is there any chance that maybe we can once again have a local Eswazi being the champion? I mean, we've seen Bo Gwanele just for the longest time doing what they do best. Do you have a chance to see another Swazi leading this year's race?
As I said, there are many surprises. You may never know. Our elite cyclists in the country are on peak. They are on form. So it's definitely they're going to do podium.
Okay.
They're going to take the podium. So we are believing and we're looking forward to an interesting and exciting Saturday.
All right, beautiful stuff. Now, before I let you go, let's just switch quickly to Border, which is also a couple of days away. Just talk about your readiness and what are you doing, working together with the Minister of course, Tourism and everything. Same here with Imvelo. But now, where are you in terms of also ensuring that those numbers of those coming outside, how do they get access to the race? How do they register? How do you facilitate the registration, especially for the international cyclists?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Fab. Though I'm wearing two hats because I'm also sitting in the organizing committee for the Border to Border. So for Border to Border, this year we did try to expand it in terms of having a website. So the website, it gives you all the information in terms of the route, the registration, the terrain, the sponsors and everything. So that's what helped us to reach so many cyclists, especially maybe also even outside the country. So in terms of readiness, we are so ready because we've got the support of the Tourism Authority. We've got one of our stakeholders, Manzini Municipality, the vibrant city. We are looking forward towards riding in that city. Next week, Saturday, we've got the Ministry of Health, which is also our stakeholders. We've got a number of sponsors who have come on board for us to experience the ride. Because as you know, Fab, that we are starting in Ngwenya, we're doing the 240, and those there who are doing the 180, they're starting in Manzini. And those who are doing the 130, they're starting down in Skupe. And those who are doing the 100 kilometers, they are starting at Lukul. So on those different starting points, we've got the support from the Ministry of Health, that we've got an ambulance, and we've got the police that are escorting them just to ensure in terms of safety. To emphasize, this year is going to be really, 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 really interesting. There are quite a number of cyclists coming outside of the country, and most of them they're doing for the 240. So it's going to be interesting to see how they are able to cope up with that as they ride, and also as how they experience the country while they are riding. So it's just to be thankful for all the sponsors and all the stakeholders who've been supporting us. And we just like to highlight that on Tuesday, the 10th, we are closing registration so that we can finalize all the logistics. Because you know very much, Fab, that we ride one way. So when we are coming back, we need to be in cars. So we need to finalize those logistics. How many people we're going to need cars so that to make sure all those cars are available. So we can't be closing later than that. It's going to disturb the planning. So hence on Tuesday, you have to pay, you have to register and pay and make sure that now you are ready so that we can be able to finalize the logistics. And this year, Feb, just an excitement. At our finishing point, we're just going to gather there and we're going to sit. We're just going to have a mini function, some few speeches for those people and those cyclists which we're going to be bringing their price stand. They are welcome and their cooler box and sit there and relax and recover after the long ride. So it's not like we are finishing, then we are going back home. So this time around, we will relax and just hear some 10, 15 minutes function, then we listen to music and we rest, we mingle.
Oh, the cooler boxes. So you don't restrict what's in the cooler box. All right. Okay. You talked about the registration closing on Tuesday. Numbers? Quickly, maybe? Okay,
currently the numbers, the last time I checked earlier today, there were 120. So we are still believing that they'll be growing because we are having a race this weekend. So some people are focusing that, let me finish this one, then I'll focus on that one and pay.
Now, I want us to leave, but I want to leave with this very key question. I mean, we've lost lives in the past. I think you talk about this year and the previous year. We've lost the previous 2 years, actually. And for some people, it's a choice, not a competition, border to border. I want to go back on my bike, but how do you assure me in terms of safety on the road? You've been doing awareness programs, ensuring that motorists, you sharing the route with the motorists. How are you gaining the confidence of the public to make sure that they know that they are safe from what's happening on the road, especially considering that we've lost lives recently in terms of cycling? Even this year, I think there was a third cyclist that we lost.
Yeah, that's the very sad and the most painful part that we have gone through. We have tried our safety awareness rides, and just to know, for the public to know, we are still going to engage them, those awareness rides, but we're going to come with them from different angles. So for this time, when this coming weekend, in terms of safety, the cyclists, which we call the group, the peloton, they'll be riding between cars. So there's going to be a car in front and the car behind. So in front is sometimes it's usually the police, sometimes they're at the back. Then in front you have the ambulance and the other follow cars. So you ride within that. So when cars are overtaking, they don't interfere with the cyclists which are riding. And especially for the team which is starting at Ngwenya and those starting in Manzini in the morning, they'll be wearing reflective vests and having their lights. So we make sure that we are riding together. We don't leave each other as we are going down those roads up until we are out of Manzini. But even then, the safety aspect is going to be of high importance. And going forward, in terms of the safety, there are so many campaigns that are coming. We still have 2 which are scheduled later this year to try and emphasize and engage all motorists and all road users. That can we share the roads? Can we be patient? Can we consider the lives of each and everyone? Even if it's a pedestrian, if it's somebody who's running or a cyclist, we are all humans. We have to share the road.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you very much to this SG in the studio. That is Mkwesi Shongo for being in the studio, just sharing some of the information pertaining to border and the upcoming Imvero Classic. Mkwesi, thank you very much for your presence. We hope that we also try to keep in touch ahead of the border next week, and we get the updates.
Thank you so much, Fab.
All right, Mkwesi Shongo, the Secretary General of the Eswatini Cycling Association, just giving us a proper picture of how the stage is looking like in terms of preparations of this year's border to border. The 2025 edition, we heard the numbers, they kept on increasing in terms of those who are registering for the event. Now, Imvero is this coming weekend, so a lot is happening in the cycling industry. Otherwise, a short break. Rindata Mini is in the corridors coming to the studio. We want to talk about athletics championships last weekend. There's also Shuguma, and then the bigger stage, Eswatini school sports football competition after the break.
The beats are louder, the vibes are bigger, and the stars are shining brighter. This is The Beatdown, your ultimate music and entertainment fix. With me every Saturday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Eswatini television, Sibuko Semaswai.
Eswatini TV has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Eswatini Communications Commission. We are committed to reporting news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that does not amount to hate speech or the description of gratuitous violence or explicit sex. For any complaints of our programming, please contact us on 2411-9600 or email info@eswatinitv.co.za. You can also contact the Eswatini Communications Commission on 2406-7000 or write a letter to ECCOM on PO Box 7811 Mbabane. Email address is info@ecom.org.za.
Welcome to Eswatini Lifestyle. This is your ultimate guide to the entertainment, to the lifestyle and the culture of Eswatini.
Eswatini Lifestyle.
Eswatini Lifestyle.
Eswatini Lifestyle. From 6:30 to 7 p.m. On Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswai.
On Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswai.
Yeah, we're back and we're live. Wherever you are, just join us right now. It's Temidlalo, your Thursday edition. If you're watching us through YouTube, it's your chance. If you're also watching us in the comfort of your seat through Skuchani, just stay tuned because our in-house analyst is in the studio, award-winning sports journalist of the year, Sengos.
Yes, Balwam, ngiyabonga ngikutfollow ukhulumvusele umbukelo Eswatini TV. Lesine sibalo sikhuluma indzaba temidlalo letinyenti yes una umsebenzi ubanti mnengi kodwa nje kumele ukuthi umbukeli athole temidlalo njengoba sihamba simfunela ngicaba ukuthi lokwentekile ngempela somvu lephelile nalekusata wendeka futhi kule phela somvu lesiya kuyo.
Usakhuluma ngale mpela somvu sibuya kuyo master ngiyakulandzela ku social media yakho uyasho ukuthi vele bekukabi nje kule mpela sonto in terms of matubane kubekwentekani siba.
Yeah, ngemgcibelo lapha enkundleni yetemidlalo kamavuso beqhubeka imidlalo lemkhulu ema-National Championships aka-Athletics Eswatini. Lapho sibonile khona different athletes angenela mhlambe tigaba ngokwehlukahlukana kwato. Lo mhlambe i-attention labe inengikhona noma labe inkulu khona. Ngicaba ukuthi ngilama distance lafaka bo 100 meters 200 meters nabo relay lengicaba ukuthi lelizinga silibonile noma le competition ngithi ngisho lokuthi bekude labe kade ukuthi 100 meters ebafana netawina bani 200 meters ebafana netawina bani but yes mhlambe kubomake mhlambe lomnye beka ngathi ukuthi bekubani abatawuhamba embili but nje lokungijabulisa ko Fabrice ukuthi ematubane abuyile ama-teams abuyile engagement ibuyile cishe konke ka athletics kuhamba kahle
i-400 mase noma 800
800
or 800
800 yes 800 sangisigeka kabili because 400 ihamba isuke iwin laba 800 meters ishothi igeka kabili ibuye iwin lana nje basaba win but njengoba ngisho Fabrice ukuthi na ubuka nje ukuthi ngijima 800 meters dinenkanganani letingenele yona 800 meters ema teams labeka khona including nalababuya khona eMozambique ngicabanga ukuthi nalababuya eMozambique bafakele cishe yona leyo competition ku athletes alapha ekhaya So ngiyathokoza nje Fabrice ukuthi finally yona i-athletics Eswatini kukhona mhlambe lekubona ukuthi i-progress noma lesiyibona leyendekela kako kuyo i-association.
I think for the longest time, Master, it's formed in terms of the bigger picture under the men category. Now, my sprinters, 200, 100, 400, it's been Subsiso Swaziport. He's no more in the picture now. There are other competitors, and I think that's where I want us to go. Bom Kalipi, Bo Tandaza. And how is the competition there?
Fabrice, I think kule 100 meters le. I'm not sure if lama visuals is now. Just before the 100 meters, igijinywe le. Kwaba ne athlete liyatsinzeka limasela. Just before iqale before kwendiwe yonke le nto leyo, but uma seyiqalile, look at Mcebo, look at Tandaza. I think now buka towards the end phose kuba i-photo finish because nawubuka ku-50 meters Mcebo beka angaphambili kwaThandaza, but towards the end I think ngilabe sekhona Mcebo.
Ucoachwa kusho ngiSwaziport.
No, same club. Yes, reps.
Yes.
Labe kuyo Swazipol, la kuyo Swazipol. But lo coacha Swazipol umlandvo.
Okay, Mlandvo.
Yeah, Mlandvo. Lo walimala lengikhuluma ngayo ukuthi just before uqale yona le 100 meters walimala, but nema ladies 100 meters nayo siyibonile. I think pretty obvious ukuthi yena bongiwe because right uyambona even the body, even the way la gijima, the technique la gijima ngayo. I think uvela ihambele embili. I think uyabonakala ukuthi why abese even eNingizimu Afrika. Ngicabanga ukuthi lekumele ukuthi asala improve nyalo ngileti cards kakhulu because now ubuka ukuthi bo 11:30 kutangala bo 11:20 something lokungenani Fabrice ngihlale ngisho mina lokungenani because naye lokungijabulisa ukuthi uyasho ukuthi there hawu ngiyabonga nange Mlandvo lo waphula limasela just before gishinywe 100 meters wathi uyasukuma uyadiva after mhlambe bamgcobise leyo mithela babangamgcobisa tona weva ukuthi hayi khona kuyala
Kusuke kuyengani
nange awusitwa ngilomnye Mlandvo because Mlandvo Shongwe naye labeka gijima naye so abaphatha.
Did he ended up carrying on and compete noma kwaphelela lapho?
No 100 meters wabethaka sayigijima. But i200 meters wayingenela.
Okay.
Yes, le 200 meters I think after le 100 meters because le 100 meters now ubuka ukuthi uyayiwina Mcebo ka reps ushiya Thandaza, then le 200 meters wonke mvubesa ayibuka ngemehlo labovu because uyakhumbula ukuthi Thandaza nakaqala ukugijima bekagijima 400 meters.
I remember, yes.
So i200 meters cishe specialist sakhe ngila specializer khona uspecialist se 200 meters. Le 100 meters vele labanye bathi hayi vele bekumele ukuthi Mcebo ayiwina 200 meters. Let's see ukuthi ngibalo ayiwina, then yafika i200 meters. I think now ibuka ngendlela leyaqala ngayo yona i200 meters kuma males because kuma females njoba ngisho ukuthi like bongo mahlelele it's been 5 years now solo dominate 100 meters 200 meters. Ngicabanga ukuthi lokunye Fabrice njoba sikhuluma ama ladies I think,
but kuna specific I think what come at the same time with when Nsinisa was I think the leading female. So angathi bese sekwendekana ngaspecific I think beka ku reps naye.
Yeah, beka ku reps.
So bese se uyasa.
So dlalela nje ibhola nyalo.
Okay.
Dlalela nje ibhola, dlalela icembu le-Wanderers.
Because bebalanzelana na Bongiwe.
Bekete kabi. Still ngiyakhumbula Fabrice beka gym like abejima kakhulu la Prince of Wales kakhulu. So ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe letinye tetinvo because sport sihambe kancane bese usasithanda kunalomnye futhi umdlalo I think khona kumanzini Wanderers okaNcampalala naye abegijima but wasesoyakuyekela sokudlala yona.
Master, I want us to go to Shuguma, but what picture did you get from this year's national champs? The competition is very high. Is it what you got, or we still to see who is the best in the country. Who is the
I
best
was
in the
hoping
country?
I was hoping ukuthi mhlambe le 200 meters sitayibona, but if mhlambe sesithi star wendlula, but
Okay.
I was hoping ukuthi le 200 meters sitayibona because interesting le 200 meters
Okay.
wasala endleleni Mcebo wasawayingenela Mlandvo i 200 meters na just before acese line naye wasala endleleni.
We request one of the athletes, Bomkaripi, Mlandvo, all those ones, maybe to be in the studio just to give us the picture so that we play the eclipse. Master, let's talk about Shuguma Begamanzini this past weekend, Bokona, and what was different this time around. And we're going to see maybe bakhetsa kuvakashela enkundla tsite noma sport council ukhipha calendar to say this weekend siyakuphi kuphi.
Yeah, nasikhuluma nayo indvuna yetemidlalo umhlonishwa Bonganzima washo ukuthi sebavele banayo ikhalenda ukuthi batawuya kuphi baye kuphi kule mbela somvuleni abebalapha esikolweni St Paul's enkundleni yasemanzini North lapho sikubone khona cishe naqala yona Shuguma Eswatini bekune walk lehambisa lomlayeto indzaba yekubulawa kubantwana tonke letinvo leto, but bese siyechubekela khona lapha St Paul's labo afike khona cishe sive siphumile abantu bashukuma. I think lokunye ke Fabrice lekumele ngungete ukuthi kule exercise yashukuma le sibone mhlambe cishe nabantu labadzala baphumile nabo cishe nakanjile nombolo yabo labantu labadzala mo especially bomake labe baphumile bete kutoshukumisa umtimba, and bayasho ke vele Fabrice ukuthi mhlambe lo hlelo liyabasita bona ukuthi because kulukhuni kuqala kujima kodwa lokhu sebaqalile batawuqhubeka bente kanjalo, and lokunye lama associations because lama associations abakhona kuShukuma Eswatini sibonile nje boxing, in fact ka boxing bebalethele team leya eNamibia ku region 5 bebalethe yona itodlala le tournament but ibuka lo sibeme kanjani sibabonile bo tag ball, sibabonile bo volleyball, sibabonile bo darts, sibabonile bo cricket, sibabonile even nabo draft cishe badlala noma bafundzisa sona lesive ngilolo kuhle ke Fabrice ebese ke sekuthi lensayeya ithi lo hlelo nasoluhambile hlelo laShukuma kuleyo ndzawo labantu bakhona nikunakeleleka ukuthi bayachubeka kudlala leto temidlalo.
All right, beautiful stuff. Master, just know that it's been a long week in terms of what's happening in the football fraternity, especially under the Instacash football competition. Now, the last 16 competition from all the 4 regions started on Tuesday. Eswatini TV continues this journey of covering the matches. So it was at Kirani Stadium, Pikes Peak, and then continuing on Wednesday, same with Eswatini TV going there, covering the finals there at Manzini, and today they were in Nhlangano at the King Sobus in Shiselweni region. Eswatini TV rather was present, and tomorrow the journey takes us to the Lubombo region, where once again Eswatini TV will be present. Maybe for you as a viewer, you're wondering, since Tuesday, how many goals have been scored so far, and how do they look like? This is just what you should wait and see. Penalties were scored today. Chances were created in different games. This is your moment of showing you what's been happening. Sibani ngicabanga ukuthi singawali thuba nje ukuthi sivale simbukele athathe nje athihlale abukele ama highlights abuke ukuthi bekwendekani for the past 2 days.
Ikakhulukazi esibalwa mebatali labe bangayi inkundleni temidlalo babone ukuthi bamva babo not ukuthi bebahambile nje babone ukuthi banema stars, future stars live.
Now, from Kirani Stadium on Tuesday after today, when the games were being played in Nhlangano, this is what Eswatini TV sports team has been up to for the past 3 days.
Taken in the box. Who's that? Ooh, it's in the box. Beautiful finish. What a finish by... wow. Surprisingly, it's one and only player that we expect to get the goal. Guess who? Sheriso Kametse positioning himself very well. A Premier League product, a good finisher, 2 goals in 1 day, 2 goals in 1 venue, 2 goals against 2 different teams. What a player has been so far. Man of the match in 22 minutes played so far.
So far so good, but ngikhala ngalendlela laba make ngayo bemhlatana They were all ball watching. They lapsed into concentration. Mangothatha kubuka leya cross ingena bonke ba face one direction. Nobody is picking that man. Nobody is picking that man. Lo Hleliso. He's roaming around. Uyati-roamela nje uyajangaza lingisalibhubesi. You can see bonke ba ball watcher usuka la kuna position ye penalty area to go and kick the ball into the back of the net.
Seemingly is still on. That's a second one. Beautiful. Beautiful one. Wow. What a finish. The positioning. He knows where to be at the right time. He cannot believe it. Wow. What a player he's been so far. Could this be a chance for him probably not only being the player of the day or the player of the last 16, but go on and be the player of the tournament? Head teachers, sport teachers, science teachers, math teachers, boklina, bachabula.
Uyayiva ke ngoku. Again, ngikhalile ngalendlela labamaka ngayo bemhlatane. They are ball watching. They are ball watching. As you can see, nobody is taking care of Hlelelo Kametse. Uyatendela nje. Buka jersey number 14. He's off position. Uyabukela kusi kunabani. Uhlula kuwa kusi kunabani ngemuva. What a goal.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. That's a beauty. That is out of this world. That is a cracker of a finish. What a ball, what a cross, what a moment, and just heads off for that young man, number 12, Ayababaza Gama Melusi. Just give him the credit, he deserves it.
Arika Sesotho silo sa manyunyu. It's a thing of a beauty. Look at how he opens up his body, curls it into the far post. Goalkeeper had nothing to do, but ngiyakhala ngepositioning yakhe. But what a finish.
Why? Should have let it for me. Now, could it be a chance? It's in the net. A beautiful finish by number 7, Menzi Dludlu. Menzi Dludlu has opened the score for Central. 36 minutes into the game. And surprisingly so, they are off their seats. The defending champions off and they go. Once again, lapses in concentration. And this man here, right here, Menzi Dludlu, the Ubombo Flyers player, loaned to Ubombo Flyers, but normally a Manzini Wanderers player, has opened the score for the Manzini-based side.
Fabrice, ngeke ngakhuluma nge-lapse of concentration, ngeke ngakhuluma nge-timing e-defense yana baya bemngozini. At some point in time, bashiya kakhulu ema-gaps. Look at the ball watching. Look at the ball watching labayendako. You can't leave a player like Dludlu to just roam around.
Technically space, but he loses the ball. Let's see what happens. Tengetwa. Lungelo takes a shot. Beautiful internet. Simelane Letogutle. Number seven, Simelane Letogutle. Simelane Letogutle netted it.
It was coming.
It was coming.
It was knocking.
What a
It was
moment.
knocking. Lapse of concentration. Casualty at the back. Should have cleared that ball. Uhlola Kishi. Angahlola Kishi bayayintshontsha ibhola. Got punished. What a goal.
Frustration on goalkeeper Lukele. He knows how it took them so much time to get that lead. He cannot believe that they have conceded just 7 minutes into the second half. Now, look at Hlengentwa, number 6. Controls the ball, gives it to Lungelo, wasted by Lukele, but the presence of Simelane Letogutle, and then he gets a yellow card for removing the jersey with that celebration.
They're very...
Now he takes it. Whoa, in the net. That's a beauty. That is out of this world. That was a beauty. You can't do anything about it. That was a beauty. Give him time to celebrate. He wants celebration. It is over. It is over. It is over. That's a beauty. That's a beauty of a penalty. What type of player are we referring to in terms of finishing?
Placements, very good. Technique, excellent. He's a former Royal Leopard under 20 player. Mchokane upage Ichem. Sibusiso Twala wake Sibusiso Fagutse wake Ichem. Look at the take. Brilliant take. That's a
Plat white.
wow.
Look at the celebration of the Hlangano High School fans behind. The body language indeed wasn't convincing.
It wasn't convincing at all. You know what? When taking a penalty, you just pick a spot, hit it with much more of power, not with the laces, but with the instep of the foot. Yeah, now he took the wrong technique of bending it. Poor placement. Poor placement.
It has to be batted after that miss, of course.
Poor placement.
Placement from there. Now let's see for the confident side who is likely to take the first penalty. I'm seeing is number 5, Dlamini. That is player that we saw.
Sean.
Dlamini Sean.
They call him Shonese.
Dlamini Sean will take the first penalty of this afternoon. And Tando, the keepers, very nice for them.
Right footer.
No, let's see if we can put them on the plate. Mini net. Beautiful.
Brilliant penalty.
Beautiful.
Brilliant penalty.
Confidence.
Do you know what I always encourage? The goalkeeper makes the first movement. He looked at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper took the decision to go right, and he took it to the left.
It's a beautiful penalty. It's a beautiful technique from Dlamini Sean. Now let's see towards the coach Sean. Now back here in the goal side is now Ayanda Mavusu. Let's see who takes the penalty. That's Segero. Segero has a chance.
Another right footer.
But delaying always give me a sense of thinking that is he really ready to take it. Let's see if he can correct what Smanga failed to do. Minute. Another
Again, lack of technique. Lack of technique.
he really can't
He
believe.
wanted to do something that was undone. He wanted to do the paneka. But after ipaneka, ngive ngathi uqobe ikabishi ngesikero.
Now, there was a chance for him to correct what Smanga couldn't do. So if Hlangano is to score the next one, they'll be 2-0 up. And if they will go on and score the third one, it will be then all over. Hlangano will be for the very first time in the semi-final of the national.
After how many years? After how many years? Since 2012. You can count. It's been a long time since they last tested a semi-final. They placed to the semi-finals. Melusi.
Captain, my captain.
Aba. Scishamlilo. Scishamlilo, the firefighter.
They have his caliber experience. Back in the net, and look at the celebration.
Look at that pose. And look at that celebration.
He has really had a wonderful game so far. And just reminding his goalkeeper that we're relying on you. And smiles all over their faces. They feel like they've got one foot into the semi-finals.
True. They can smell it. Look at that pose for me. Takes everything away from the goalkeeper.
Bruno
Silo
Fernandes.
Shamanyunyu.
Bruno
It's a thing of a beauty. Bruno Fernandes style. There's also Karen Kimifoot of Orlando Pirates. Silo Shamanyunyu. A thing of a beauty.
Impressed with your kind of reaction and how you've seen these penalties going so far. Now let's see who is next in terms of the that's
Tapelo Mofokeng.
Ratoma right foot.
Yeah. Obi looks a bit confident compared to the other two.
We start to end it. Right foot. Ratoma right foot. Right footer.
Tapelo Mofokeng.
Ratoma right foot.
The ref is dishing out some instructions. Mofokeng has a chance to correct the two mistakes were made previously by Segero. And it's worked by
the keeper.
Ayanda. Look at the celebrations.
But the body language for me. The body language for me showed where he was going to.
Now with the bandage on his knee, one will say maybe he's forced to take the penalty.
Less power. Less power. Nale direction utshengisile ukuthi ngiyaphi. Nale body language utshengisile ukuthi ngiyakuphi. Look at this, less power.
Now, it's their moment, it's their time, and they deserve to be happy. That is the... See, this could be a chance for...
It's probably the last kick. If it is like this, it's the last kick. Oh yeah,
Now, I'm being told it is Mabeleza who's going to take it. No, change of the story. He's number 11, Mavuso.
He had a brilliant game too, but he's struggling with the times through.
So Gosiapa is going to take the penalty. Him, Bandile, and Mabeleza really had a good game in that midfield. Now,
Udlale for me. Can he take them to Dreamland after 2012? Can he do it?
all right, let's see Mavuso. Mavuso has a chance. They have it
Saved
served.
by the keeper.
First serve.
Again. He was injured. He couldn't have taken that penalty. You see, which position? The confidence was lacking.
And the question is, why was he forced to take the penalty under the current conditions? Lack of power in that penalty.
True.
Conditions.
He was struggling with the times 3.
And the correct reaction by his teammate to carry him. Now let's see if Njaburiso can maybe score the first one for the Komiyandaba school.
If he misses, it's over.
It's a chance to also see if he is the heroic man. Coach Shongwe knows and he believes in his goalkeeper, and Mavuso. Njaburiso. Njaburiso. Chance back in the net.
Brilliant
Now,
penalty.
it's a beauty.
Brilliant penalty. Power, placement,
It's a beauty.
technique. Hit it with the instep.
So both teams
Push
have
it
taken 3
to the back of the
penalties,
net.
and then Tlangano is leading by 2 ahead of 1. So we're going to the 4th one now.
It's actually the 3rd one. It's as the 4th one. If he scores,
Oh,
it's over. If he scores this one, it's over.
so much weight, and have seen what this team can do. You have to see who's been given a chance to take this penalty.
It's confident.
It's Bandile, the number 7.
Shope,
Bandile Flope.
troublemaker.
He's really had a good game so far. One of the good playmakers of this side. Once it's in the net,
Saved by the keeper. Brilliant save.
it's really a story changing here. Are the Kings of Busa the second
True,
warrior.
true. Where are you, Fagengo?
Really, he has really changed the story here. Saving 2 penalties consecutively. It is really raising chances of Komindaba. Also getting back into the story. see how now.
Can he be the hero?
And
He can't believe it.
he
He can't believe it. He can't believe it, trust me.
We're so close.
Yet
But
so
now,
far. It's
it is
becoming
so
yet
far.
so far. If he doesn't score, it's over. It's their last penalty. That's their last hope.
Kobe, the number 12. Kobe, number 12, has a chance to get them back.
Bruno Fernandes. My gut tells me so.
Back in the net. 2-2.
Told you so.
The story has changed here. They have a chance of making it to the next stage. So let's see what happens. If Nhlangano scores,
It's over.
it's over. But if Nhlangano doesn't score,
It's sudden
and
death.
Tommy comes and score, they could go to the next stage.
True.
So it is wide open. It is wide open. Now-
Engathi sitawulala lana.
They have brought back their confidence. They now believe in themselves. Following that,
I can see pairing. Bakhona siduma ngabanye.
now taking it is now Mabeleza, the number 10. Another player with a brilliant 90
Monate
minutes.
Mpulai,
Brilliant 90 minutes for Mabeleza. So he takes the penalty.
left footer.
Right footer.
He's a right footer.
Net. Beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
all over.
They are in the last 4 of the encounter. Look at the
Look at the
celebration. That is the conclusion. Nhlangano Central High School have qualified for the national semi-finals to be played at this very same venue come next week Friday. The celebrations are all over. It was coming. They showed character, they showed strength, and this man right here, Mabeleza, confirmed their qualification. What a celebration. And you'll understand why Tando, the goalkeeper of Komindaba, has so much pain to show after that goal that he just conceded. He's been brilliant.
Ngiyafuma nasi. Asashone ma. Kude lo dawathi kuthula la ngamanyaka. Cha manje.
Ngikuphela lokulezama ukubalekela ukuthi singumndeni simunye sivale kwazana sonke.
Yini lamanyana lawa wena uyaphila kahle la? No. Angeke uyimele lempilo ufuna kuyisusa. Utawushaka kabuhlungu.
What the hell is going on? Phuma la ndini yami. Awungamukeleli. Don't touch me. What is she doing here?
Angicabanga sinecabanga sisile le nto le. Angesabi impi mina baba. Ngifuna uzumthole. I need to talk to her.
Mandla.
Sorry.
Ma, kokhula sitafuna sibonela sejubile nyalo.
Hi, sweetie. Unjani?
I'm pissed.